begin, we're going to present some advantages of using the telephone in a job campaign. First, you can verify contact by phone, discovering immediately if the person with the hiring authority has your resume. If not, send another one to that person. Second, you get immediate feedback from a phone call. If your skills and their needs match, you can move ahead in the search sequence. If not, and nothing is available, you can save time and energy not waiting for a reply. Either way, you win. Third, you can interact by phone. You can present yourself, your personality, with an aliveness that does not occur on paper. You can adapt your style to that of the other person. And finally, the telephone demands attention. People will answer the phone and often ignore their mail. A good telephone contact as a follow-up to a resume increases your chances for an interview by more than 100%. When pursuing advertised jobs, call someone inside the company who knows about the job. You may need to ask around to determine exactly who that person is. Ask about the job duties and what skills are needed. Decide if you fit what they want. This helps you present your skills in a way that meets their needs. When researching companies, look for a company need, something you can help them solve. Your call is to gather information. Ask for details about products, services, customers, and divisions. Get full names and titles of people that you may want to contact. Most people are happy to help if you're brief, friendly, and to the point. Secretaries and people in public affairs are often the best ones to contact for this type of information. Once you know what companies do, how they do it, and where it is done, you can decide if they need someone like you and how aware they are of that need. Listen to this example of an information call.
Hello, my name is Bud Perkins. I'm calling to get some information on your company. I've certainly heard of Quality Packing before, but I don't know exactly what you do. So do you have a warehouse here? How big is it? I see. Then, do you folks have an automated material handling system? What kind is it? No need for an apology. There are many of them on the market. Who would have that information? Bob Zender. Is he your warehouse manager? Yes, I'd like very much to speak to him. I see. No problem. If you'll give me his extension number, I'll call him back this afternoon. Thank you very much for your information. Bye.
The goal of a network call is to establish rapport and gain inside information. Remember, you're trying to get the lay of the land, to discover who the key people are and how to meet them. Start with your friends and business contacts. Let them know you're looking for a job and what your goals are. Ask them to refer you to their contacts so you can plug into a wider circle. When talking to friends, do not ask for a job, only for information and advice. Listen to this networking call to a friend.
Hi, Bill. This is Brent Nygren. How you doing? Good. Say, did I catch you in a meeting, or can you talk for a minute? Even so, I'll keep this short because I know you're busy. Bill, I need your advice. I'm looking for a new job, and I thought you might be able to point me in the right direction. No, I'm not thinking you'd have a job for me at your company. My idea was to lay out my plan to you and see if you know anyone I should go talk to. Does that sound all right? Great. As you probably know, I've got over 4 years of production scheduling experience with United Tech, and I've done scheduling on several wastewater projects. What I want to do is get on with an engineering consulting company. I thought you might know about those guys. Joseph Galloway. What's he do? Can I use your name? What about E&M? You know anybody there? Uh-huh. Oh, really? What's his name? Great.
When your friends refer you to their friends, you're no longer viewed as a stranger, and the barriers go down. When making these calls, first introduce yourself and tell them who gave you their name. Next, give a short summary of your background. We call this your 30-second summary. Then handle the call exactly as you did when talking to your friend. Listen.
Hello? This is Brent Nygren calling for Joe Galloway. Yes. Bill Neville at Givens Engineering suggested I call Joe about some project scheduling. Thank you. Mr. Galloway, my name is Brent Nygren. Bill Neville suggested I call you. Have I caught you in a meeting? Fine. Well, I'll be brief because I know you're busy. Bill said you'd be the person to give me some advice. I started with United Tech 4 years ago in their engineering co-op program, and I've had several rotational assignments since I got my degree. The bulk of my experience has been in production scheduling on wastewater treatment projects. What I want to do now is go on with an engineering consulting company. Bill said you keep pretty good tabs on what's happening in that field. And even though you might not have a job for me, you could give me some good advice on where I should go to find one. Okay?
Your goal with secondary contacts is to have them refer you to others who can help. This gives you a wider circle of people to contact. Call these new referrals. Mention how you got their name. Use your 30-second summary, and then get them talking. Ask for advice and more names. Each person leads you to someone new and expands your network of contacts. The third type of telephone call is to follow up on correspondence that you've sent to companies. This kind of a call can bring your resume up from the bottom of a stack or even pull you out of the wastebasket. Some people avoid making this kind of a call. They feel like they're selling themselves. A hard sell, however, is not the purpose of the call. Your goal is to convey who you really are and connect with the other person in order to share things that you're good at and know a lot about. The key is to decide in advance exactly what you want to discuss and then develop a plan for including these things in your conversation. Listen to this follow-up call.
Hello, Pat Simmons, please. Thank you. Hello, Pat. This is Marjorie Walters. I sent you my resume last week and thought I would follow up by telephone. Several of my friends have been your customers, and so when they heard that I was going back to work, they all suggested I call you. That's no problem. I'm sure lots of resumes cross your desk. I'm impressed with your store, Pat. I feel that I can contribute to what you're doing already. Well, I know that you value customer service. So do I. I'd like to meet you and share some of the things that I've done in that area.
In talking to the contact, sit up straight, speak directly into the phone, smile as you speak, and picture yourself meeting in person. These things add life to your voice. Begin with your name, and then refer to your mutual acquaintance or something in your resume. Promise to be brief, present your 30-second summary, and then wait for a response. Ask open-ended questions that can't be answered yes or no. For example, what's the status of the new mall? Or, what does this project mean to the company? Getting the contact talking is more important than completing a canned pitch. Then once the discussion gets going, remember and refer to your promise to be brief and offer to end the conversation. Your objective is to have the person agree to a follow-up call or to review your resume or ideally to a face-to-face meeting. By seeking advice, asking for a referral, or probing for information, you can make every call count. In summary, we've presented the whys, whens, and hows of using the telephone in your job search. We've shown you how to gather information, build a network, and follow up on correspondence. We've shared tips for adding polish to each call. Now, with so much new information, You may want to review this tape again. Above all, keep practicing your skills and stay on that phone until you've accepted a new job. Everything you've learned so far about finding a job leads to getting an interview. The interview helps the employer decide if you're right for the job. Now, interview preparation is your key to success. So let's begin with making a positive first impression. First impressions count more than people realize. Interviewers form an opinion of you as soon as they see you. You can make a positive impression by dressing appropriately, arriving early, and being friendly and courteous to everyone you meet. Let's talk about dressing for the interview. Find out what people wear on the job and then dress to fit the position. While there is no one formula that's right for a given job, here are some guidelines that apply to every situation. Pay attention to personal grooming. Bathe, brush your teeth, use mouthwash, clean your nails, and cut your hair. Wear neat, clean, and pressed clothing. Make the most of what you wear. Polish your shoes. Be conservative in what you choose to wear. Avoid excessive jewelry, cologne, or party attire. Another way to create a positive impression is to arrive early. You can also make a positive first impression by being friendly and courteous to everyone you meet at the interview. Employers often ask receptionists and secretaries their opinion of job seekers. The second part of succeeding in an interview is to answer questions effectively. You can predict what interviewers will ask by putting yourself in their shoes and thinking about what you'd want to know if you were interviewing applicants.
They're always going to ask, tell me about yourself. They want to know something about yourself. They're always going to ask you about money. They're always going to ask you about how you liked your last employer. They're always going to ask you why you want to work for the company.
Anticipate what they'll ask you and prepare your answers. Practice out loud with your coach or a friend to make sure that your responses sound right. And be prepared to clearly present your abilities and accomplishments. The way you answer questions can be as important as what you say. Look directly into the interviewer's eyes and give short, crisp, smooth answers. Be aware of not talking too much. About 50% is a good rule of thumb. Say something positive about former supervisors, previous companies, and working conditions. Show that you're willing to be a team player who's open to traveling and working overtime to meet a deadline. Listen to how these job seekers answer questions.
So tell me about your last boss.
I learned a lot from my former supervisor. She was a stickler for detail, and my skill at turning out accurate technical reports went way up just because she demanded it. I appreciate all the things she taught me.
How do you feel about travel?
I've traveled in every job I've had. I like to be home on the weekends, and I'd prefer to keep it under 50% if possible. Sometimes that works, and sometimes it doesn't. I don't really see travel being a problem for me.
Have you done scheduling?
I've worked on 3 different wastewater projects where I've used scheduling. 2 were with a chemical plant, and the 3rd was for a sanitation district. In fact, it sounds a lot like the one you're working on right now.
You should also be prepared to answer the tough questions. What's your strategy, for example, when they ask, what are your weaknesses? And specifically, how can you benefit our company? The final key to success is to follow up after the interview. Now, most people think interviewers make a yes or no decision during the interview. But typically, interviewers either decide no or they remain undecided. Following up after an interview can keep you in the running and may make the difference between your getting or not getting a job offer. In deciding what to say during your follow-up, analyze how well you interviewed from the employer's point of view. Write down areas in which you were strong and those where you were weak. What hesitations might the interviewer have? After a couple of days, call or write the employer. Let them know of your interest in the position. Emphasize your strengths and counter any questionable issues. Notice how this job seeker follows up.
Mrs. Stevens? This is Maria Gallegos. I met with you on Tuesday.
Oh, yes, Maria. Oh, I remember you.
I wanted to call to thank you for interviewing me and to let you know how much I would like to work for your company. The more I've thought about the position, the more excited I am.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. We haven't made a decision as of yet, but we will be making our choice soon.
Oh, good. I'm glad. After thinking about what you need done, I know that I can speed up your reporting system, and with my computer experience, I can help in the accounting area, too.
Now, that's a plus.
I also think that I can learn your software quickly. I know 3 different packages already, so I'm sure that a new one will be no problem.
You know, Maria, I think I'd like to have you come in again and meet with Mr. Bennett. Do you think you could do that today or tomorrow?
Of course.
In summary, then, interview preparation is your key to success. The time you spend making a positive first impression, answering questions effectively, asking questions that show interest, and following up after the interview is time well spent. Read through the materials in the workbook. Complete all the exercises, and then review them before each interview. And be sure to practice with your coach. The more you prepare and practice your interviewing skills, the sooner you'll be offered the right job.